Hey Bougie click. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're diving into a topic that's as complex as it is fascinating, the worlds of femcels and incels. These subcultures have sparked countless conversations online, but there's so much more beneath the surface. Using themes from Netflix's Adolescence as inspiration, we're unpacking the societal, psychological, and digital factors that shape these communities and what they reveal about us as a society. So, buckle up, because this is going to be a deep dive you won't want to miss. Let's get into it.
I'ma make you a fan.
The explosive rise of femcels and incels, unpacking Netflix's Adolescence. Femcels, female involuntary celibates, and incels, male involuntary celibates, are two subcultures that have emerged from the depths of the internet, often misunderstood and misrepresented. These groups are united by their shared frustration with romantic rejection, but their narratives diverge in significant ways. Netflix's Adolescence provides a compelling lens through which to explore these dynamics, offering a dramatized yet insightful portrayal of the struggles and toxic behaviors that can arise when individuals feel entitled to love and validation. Entitlement, the root of the problem. At the heart of both femcel and incel ideologies lies a dangerous sense of entitlement. The belief that others owe them affection, attention, or even a relationship is a recurring theme. Adolescence masterfully illustrates this through its characters, who grapple with rejection and societal expectations. The show highlights how entitlement can lead to resentment, bitterness, and, in extreme cases, harmful actions. It serves as a reminder that no one is obligated to reciprocate feelings or conform to someone else's preferences. Preferences are not personal attacks. One of the most striking lessons from Adolescence is the importance of respecting individual preferences. The show delves into scenarios where characters lash out at others for not meeting their romantic expectations. This mirrors real-life instances where femcels and incels criticize those who reject them, often resorting to online harassment or vitriolic commentary. The reality is simple: preferences are not personal attacks. If someone doesn't want what you're offering, it's not a reflection of your worth, it's just their choice. The toxic cycle of validation seeking. Both femcels and incels often fall into a toxic cycle of seeking validation from those who don't want them. Adolescence portrays this through characters who obsess over unattainable crushes, neglecting opportunities to connect with people who genuinely appreciate them. This cycle not only perpetuates feelings of inadequacy but also reinforces the idea that one's value is determined by external approval. Breaking free from this mindset is crucial for personal growth and self-acceptance. The incel phenomenon, a harsh reality of modern society. Involuntary celibacy, or incel, may sound like a niche term, but its impact resonates loudly in today's cultural discourse. It represents a shadowy subculture of individuals who, for various reasons, find themselves unable to form romantic or sexual relationships despite desiring them. While their frustration stems from deeply personal struggles, the ideology that has emerged from the incel community often fans the flames of misogyny, toxicity, and, at times, violence. Here's an unflinching look at the rise of this subculture and its unsettling influence. Origins: from a lonely support group to a dark subculture. The incel movement began with noble intentions. In the 1990s, a Canadian woman seeking connection and support created a website for people grappling with loneliness and social isolation. However, as the term incel gained traction, it shifted drastically from its original purpose. Today, it primarily describes men who not only feel alienated from romantic relationships but also channel their bitterness into blaming women and society for their struggles. Online forums became breeding grounds for this hostility. What once might have been a space for solace turned into an echo chamber of resentment, fostering extremist ideologies where women are dehumanized, vilified, and reduced to archetypes. The Adolescence parallel: toxic masculinity and social influence. The Netflix series Adolescence is a gripping British crime drama that explores the arrest of a 13-year-old boy, Jamie Miller, for the murder of his classmate, Katie Leonard. The show delves into themes like toxic masculinity, the influence of social media, and the fragility of family dynamics. Over 4 episodes, the story unfolds in real time, with each episode filmed in a single continuous take. The series examines Jamie's psychological state, the pressures he faces from peers and the internet, and the devastating impact of his actions on his family. It also highlights the alarming rise of knife crime and the influence of online subcultures like the manosphere. The manosphere refers to a network of online spaces, like forums, blogs, and social media communities, where discussions about masculinity, gender dynamics, and men's issues take place. While some parts of the manosphere focus on legitimate concerns, like male mental health, others promote toxic masculinity, misogyny, and opposition to feminism. Subcultures within the manosphere include groups like Men Going Their Own Way, MGTOW, men's rights activists, MRAs, and Incels. Incels, short for involuntary celibates, are individuals who feel unable to form romantic or sexual relationships despite wanting them. This frustration often leads to resentment toward women in society, with some incels adopting extremist views. The term was originally coined in the 1990s by a woman aiming to create an inclusive community for people struggling with social isolation, but it has since evolved into a subculture associated with misogyny and, in extreme cases, violence. Both the manosphere and incel communities have been criticized for fostering harmful ideologies and radicalizing individuals online. The show begins in an English town. The police break down the door of a family home and arrest Jamie Miller, a 13-year-old boy, on suspicion of unaliving a classmate, Katie Leonard. Jamie is held at a police station for questioning and then remanded in custody at a secure training center. Investigations at Jamie's school and questioning by a forensic psychologist reveal that Jamie has been deeply disturbed by school bullying via social media centered on incel subculture. It highlights the way Andrew Tate and the Red Pill community have affected adolescent culture in the 2020s. 7 months after the incident, psychologist Bryony Ariston meets with Jamie at a youth detention facility to prepare a pretrial report on his mental health. Jamie has been recently involved in a violent altercation with another inmate and is visibly aggravated that Ryan is spending his pretrial period at home. Bryony makes it clear to Jamie that her only goal is to evaluate his understanding of the circumstances surrounding the case, not the case itself. Jamie, however, engages in a tenuously gripped game of one-upmanship, which becomes a chaotic interaction due to his emotional immaturity. It brings his alleged crime, the possible motivations and the subculture underlying them to the forefront of the discussion. Upon being pressed for an explanation by Bryony, he provides a full chronology of events. After another classmate had spread Katie's topless photo around the school, Jamie asked Katie out, figuring she would be weak and thus more likely to accept. She promptly rebuffed him and subsequently wrote the derisive Instagram comments about him. Throughout the whole interview, Jamie's mood wildly fluctuates between friendly, paranoid, aggressive, and threatening. This includes an accidental confession and several furious outbursts that leave Bryony severely shaken. After informing Jamie that this session is their last, Jamie demands to know if Bryony likes him. She refuses to answer, which further agitates Jamie and forces him to be escorted out. Bryony silently cries to herself afterwards before leaving. Although fictional, the British Netflix series Adolescence sheds light on issues closely related to the incel phenomenon. The story of Jamie Miller, a 13-year-old boy swept up in a murder case, raises pertinent questions about the formation of toxic masculinities. Much like the online incel community, Jamie's environment highlights how vulnerable young men can be manipulated by toxic narratives and societal pressures. The series explores the role of social media in amplifying dangerous ideologies and the fragility of family bonds in combating these forces. Incels, too, find their views reinforced by the endless validation of online platforms, where negative sentiments spiral into destructive behaviors. Dangerous beliefs, the worldview of incels. Incels' worldview is often built on harmful concepts such as the Chad and Stacy stereotype, a belief that women only desire alpha males, Chads, while rejecting average or undesirable men. They also propagate black pill ideology, a nihilistic mindset suggesting that some people, particularly men, are doomed to a life of loneliness because of immutable traits like physical appearance. These beliefs breed entitlement, anger, and even hatred toward women, who are perceived as gatekeepers of relationships. In extreme cases, this has fueled violent incidents, such as the 2014 Isla Vista killings in California, which were carried out by a self-identified incel. The ripple effect, a societal crisis. The incel subculture doesn't exist in isolation. It reflects broader societal challenges, including the pressures placed on men to conform to hyper-masculine ideals and the lack of spaces for healthy discussions about emotional struggles. The dangerous ideologies within the manosphere exacerbate these issues, creating a vicious cycle of alienation and resentment. Additionally, platforms that fail to moderate hateful rhetoric allow these toxic communities to thrive. The impact extends beyond the incel community itself, fostering a culture that undermines gender equity and perpetuates harm. Breaking the cycle. Addressing the incel crisis requires a multifaceted approach. First, it's vital to promote positive conversations about mental health and gender dynamics, providing alternative spaces for those who feel isolated or rejected. Society must also challenge and dismantle harmful gender stereotypes that stigmatize vulnerability in men and objectify women. Moreover, online platforms must take a stand against hate speech and extremism, ensuring that toxic ideologies are not allowed to fester unchecked. Educational initiatives, too, can play a role in fostering empathy, emotional intelligence, and respect for others. Moving on, the power of acceptance. The most empowering message from Adolescence is the importance of moving on. The show encourages viewers to focus on finding connections with people who value them for who they are, rather than fixating on those who don't. This aligns with the broader advice for Femcels and Incels: stop trying to convince others to want you. Instead, invest your energy in building meaningful relationships with those who appreciate you as you are. Conclusion: a call for self-reflection. Femcels and Incels are not inherently bad people, but their ideologies can become toxic when fueled by entitlement and resentment. Netflix's Adolescence serves as a poignant reminder that love and validation cannot be demanded, they must be earned through mutual respect and understanding. By embracing self-reflection and acceptance, individuals can break free from the cycle of bitterness and find genuine connections that enrich their lives. While it may be tempting to dismiss incels as a fringe group, their existence highlights deeper fissures in our culture that demand our attention. It's only by addressing the root causes of loneliness, misogyny, and toxic masculinity that we can hope to extinguish the flames of this destructive ideology. Thanks for tuning in to dive into the fascinating, and sometimes controversial, world of Femcels and Incels. These subcultures reflect some of the deeper issues in our society, and understanding them is the first step toward finding solutions. If you found this video thought-provoking, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to join the conversation. Drop your thoughts in the comments, I'd love to hear your take. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and keep asking the hard questions. What do you think? Are Femcels and Incels entitled? Let me know in the comments section. Stay bougie. Follow and support me. All links in bio. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Check description for more info. New episodes every day.